So question number one to you, Natasha, is the first thing which I would love to hear is, can I build my leadership qualities using any of the NLP tools, any of the NLP models? If yes, which of them? Because individual development is topmost. And each one of us would love to hear on that first.
Mhm. Lovely. And I think that's a very valid question, Sumit. And I think all of us, or all of the people I see on the screen, I'm sure are handling teams and at a leadership level. Uh, well, like I told you, NLP is about a high level of self-awareness. It basically questions your current patterns of working, whether it is dealing with people, whether it is conducting a meeting, whether it is managing a team, whether it is getting the work done, whether it is the way you communicate. So it basically helps you understand why you do what you do, and with certain tools and techniques, it helps you understand what changes do you want, and actually with sustainable and consistent work, you can actually make those changes. So when we look at leaders, when we look at leadership qualities, one of the first things one needs to understand is, what is it that they are looking at? So do they want to be more confident? Do they want to be more inspiring, more motivating, getting work done? Right. So depending upon what skill or what behavior or what mindset do you want to work on, there are different tools which can be used. One of my favorites in NLP is called Circle of Excellence. Right. It's a beautiful anchoring technique. So NLP does a lot of anchoring technique. And
What's
why am
anchoring
I?
like?
So anchoring basically means, if I had to quickly tell you how NLP works and how your brain works, well, your brain is all about interpretations,
Yeah.
right? It doesn't store things the way it is. It stores things of what it sees, right? So your brain has a representation system, right? And some of them would agree with me. Some people are more visual, right? Some people are more kinesthetic, and some people
Yeah.
are more auditory,
Auditory. True.
right? Now, we wonder why is it happening, is because that's how your brain stores information,
Okay.
right? So if I actually tell somebody something, let's just try this out and see. I'm going to take a word and I want to get some responses from people, and let's see how they store information, right? So I will say a word. The other people, if you can just unmute yourself and tell me what's the first thing which comes to your mind, right? Let's just check it out. I'll take a word, monsoon. What's the first thing which comes to your mind, Sumit?
Rain.
Rain. Okay, one
The
is rain. Sumit,
the
what comes to your
voice,
mind? Like
the voice on my uh, rooftop, the tuck, 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 tuck,
the
tuck, tuck, tuck.
the sound
The sound,
on
yeah.
your tin sheet.
Thin sheet
Okay,
on
what
my.
else? Everybody else. What's the
Greenery.
first thing? Scenery. Okay, what else?
Pakode.
What's the first?
Green.
Pakode. Oh my God. Chai and
Green.
pakode. Right? What
I
else?
am
Let's
I am
see.
in I am in Bangalore, so traffic jams.
Wow.
Whoa. And just to get that right, Uday, I hope I'm talking to Uday, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Ah, Uday, so can you see the traffic jam? Can you feel the traffic jam, or can you hear the traffic jam?
Wow.
because it is every year's phenomena. So we
Yeah,
know that as soon as monsoon starts,
yeah.
Mumbai and Bangalore get choked.
True.
Right. And when you think of the traffic jam, do you get a visual in your head right now there? Or do
A
you?
similar
Yes.
experience I do also have since I'm also in Bangalore.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right. So Uday says he gets a visual. So probably if I talk to Uday a little more, I'll figure out what his representation style is. Right. So we don't store traffic jam as traffic jam. We store traffic jam as either a visual or a sound. Look at what Manisha has written, songs of nature. The moment you hear the word songs, which means she's auditory in nature, right? So that is where the entire thing comes. And why is anchoring important? Is that when I really want to get into some states of mind, so if I want to be a very confident leader, I can actually start doing something called anchoring. Anchoring means I will think about an incident in my life where I was very confident, right? And when I think of that incident, I close my eyes, I relive that incident. You'll
And
automatically see there is a very different sense of confidence which comes into you, right? So that is what anchoring is, Sumit. And
Wow.
circle of excellence is a very strong anchoring tool. It can help you create the state you want to get into: confidence, courage, bravery, tolerance, patience, happiness, maybe pride, whatever you want to get into, you can actually do that particular tool. So that helps leader. That will help you build a particular skill. Some other things which will really help is your beliefs and your values in life. A lot of times your beliefs stop you from being the leader you want to be.
True.
So one of the beliefs leaders may have is leaders should always listen. So that's a belief I work on, right? Sometimes it may come in way of me being an inspiring leader, all right? Or leaders should be subject matter experts. That could be a belief I have. Well, all leaders aren't. But sometimes what happens is because that is the belief I work on, my behavior is ruled by that. So there can be belief work which can be done for leaders.
How does NLP help in removing these limiting beliefs? Is there something very specific?
Well, it helps you. There is a technique called reframing. It helps you reframe your values and your beliefs. So if I say leaders should always be subject matter experts, I need to question myself. Is it true for all the situations? If the answer is no, then you need to see what is true. Because beliefs are nothing but truth to you. They're actually not facts, but they feel true to you.
Awesome.
So for leadership qualities, I think you can do anchoring, you can do belief work, you can also do affirmations and incantations, something which you keep saying to yourself. Your self-talk is very important. So this is very unconscious, by the way, right? We talk to our brain practically every second of our lives, and we don't realize that we are giving it a negative self-talk. A lot of times I'm getting into an interview or a program, the talk I give to my mind is, oh Lord, I think the participants are going to be tough. The moment I say this to my mind, the mind gets into a insecure state. The mind doesn't have a mind of its own.
True.
So it only listens to you. So your self-talk can be very different. So self-talk, affirmations, Metamodel, these are things which can help you in leadership.
Thank you. So this is all about me. If I want to develop myself, if I want to be aware of myself, from circle of excellence to anchoring to reframing, affirmation, self-talk. Let me take you to the second question, which is more specific to the HR role. If I were to interview someone, if I were to be more effective in recruitment and selection, what NLP tools in conversations can I use?
Okay, so one, I did mention the VAK, which is visual, auditory, and the kinesthetic. The best part about this is however you represent it in your head, in your brain, is how it comes out of your mouth.
True.
So if I have put it in a visual, my language will show visuals, right? So if I'm a very high visual person, it'll come at as the words also will be, let's look at it, let's picture this. Let's take a view of this. How are the shades looking? So my language would also show that. So especially when you're taking interviews, one thing which you can be very, very, you can understand from NLP and you can learn is the language patterns. So you can actually look at the language patterns and then design your questions accordingly, and you'll be able to connect to the person better. The second technique which you can do is that of rapport building. So rapport is very important. We don't connect at conscious levels. We connect at unconscious levels, right? So your mind has a conscious level and it has an unconscious level. And we connect at unconscious levels, right? So for rapport building, there are beautiful techniques like mirroring, right? So if you are sitting or if you're moving your hands too much and I'm not moving, chances of our brains to connect would be a little meek. But if you are more with your gestures, I'm not mimicking you, but I'm actually mirroring you in a way so that you connect with me at an unconscious level. So mirroring, pacing, leading, repeating certain words which appeal to you so that our rapport can be built, right? So they are internal rapport creators and they are external rapport creators as well. Awesome. So rapport is one tool which can definitely be used. Another thing which can be used is a very beautiful tool called association and dissociation. Right? So in your questions, you can actually use this tool to understand the person a lot better. There is also outcome frames which we use. There is art of questioning, which I think HR people, especially the recruiters, would love to learn. And that's called the outcome frames. The kind of questions you ask will help you get to know the person a lot better. You'll understand their personality and you'll be able to question them and you'll be able to read them a lot better.
Okay.
So yes, these are few tools which definitely
Wow.
come very handy, especially in interviews.
Thank you, Natasha. I just want to take this discussion to the beyond HR level now. Like
Mm,
we HR are partners to business functions.
mm.
How useful is NLP for business heads, managers, manager of managers, or different job roles? In anything in sales, we can use anything while negotiating and purchase can be used. Any other things where you can talk about NLP for different businesses, and then maybe we can go into the experience of NLP instead of having
Lovely.
more questions. So this could be the last
Lovely.
question for you.
So Suraj did mention circle of influence. Thank you, Suraj. That's a beautiful thing. So it is a part of circle of excellence. I can create the states I want to, right? And yes, circle of influence can be used in any function and any area of your life. You've been talking about business heads and leadership positions and manager, and people in the senior level or any level in their organization. I think you're dealing with people. One of the things is that. All right. Second, you're trying to motivate them. You're also trying to inspire them. You're also probably trying to help them hold their stand even through tough times like professional issues or personal issues, right? And that is where there are certain tools of NLP, which if individuals start using, I think managing this would be a lot better. So I'm going to just kind of introduce you to certain things which would help, especially in the area of, say, negotiation. Especially, I think a lot of people said that, somebody is leaving, and it's a very important,
Position, yeah.
resource or talent to you. Or maybe you're trying to crack an interview with a person who is looking at a higher salary and you're maybe offering him a little lesser salary, but you really would. So negotiation, in terms of negotiation, there are certain things which in NLP would definitely help you. One is, of course, rapport building. The other is outcome frames. It's also challenging people's belief, reframing. Those are things which will be used in terms of negotiation part of it, right? In other places where we are dealing with people's personal lives or professional struggles, I think that is where the self-talk and the self-image tool can be used. So you can help people change the kind of talk they give to their brain, because the brain, unfortunately, doesn't understand things beyond, outside don't. So if I say don't worry, it doesn't understand don't. It only understands worry. So your brain starts worrying. So your language patterns is something which can be used, especially in cases of dealing with people, managing them, with their personal and their professional struggles. There is a beautiful tool called perceptual positioning, which can
Oh,
help business heads a lot.
how does
So
this help?
we look at perspectives, right? So maybe I'm in a particular situation and I'm trying to look at different perspectives, but I feel my perspective is the best,
Okay.
right? So as business heads or as senior people, you would want to be open to different perspectives. So not just for normal strategy decisions, but even in conflicts, perceptual positions works beautifully, because that allows you to look at the same thing from your point of view, from the person who's involved, for somebody who you idolize, and probably for somebody who's absolutely alien to the situation. So when it opens you up to different perspectives, the decisions and the perspective you take finally is more filtered and is definitely more informed.
Is it something similar to empathy or
Uh, well, it can generate empathy. When you look
okay?
at different perspectives, I think as managers or as employees, your empathy part of it can increase when you are trying out perceptual positioning, when you're looking at people from a different perspective. That's one thing.
That's really important.
And second, of course, is your it's a questioning technique. It's called Metamodel.
Mhm.
And wow, if you learn that, the kind of questions you'll ask people, it'll just help them come up with more options. So for
It-
example, Sumit, if I ask you, why did you not do this work, vis-a-vis what had to happen for you to complete this work, which will help
Sure.
you explore more,
The second question, of course, yeah.
is because I'm also looking at what I've not been able to do,
Sure.
rather than the first question, which is more about why is it that I did not do work? So I'm kind of pulled into the same situation.
Sure.
Metamodel helps you explore situations, explore options, and pick up the right one, which makes you reach the result.
Let's take this link ahead into the experience which we want to give to people in NLP. So, ladies and gentlemen, next 7-8 minutes